It's all getting very exciting. Next week we've got the week off and we're planning a few days away on the boat. At the moment I'm in the middle of passage planning. What we're aiming to do is set off on Monday and go to Salcombe. So here I am looking at navionics at the route we've chosen from Plymouth to Salcombe. We want to try and arrive a couple of hours before high tide at Salcombe, and there should be plenty of water on the bar at that point. I did phone the harbour master earlier to check what his advice was. So the only thing we have to worry about is the swell. The forecast we're looking at for Monday is force 2 to 3 northwest, and the sea state is going to be slight. So the wave height shown on windy here was 0.2 meters. So hopefully that shouldn't be anything to bother us. Unfortunately, because of the way that the tidal streams work, if we're sailing during the morning and afternoon and early afternoon on Monday, we're going to have the westerly going tide against us. So this is the tidal stream atlas for the channel. The tide goes slack at high water Dover -2 and then starts setting east and is easterly setting until high water Dover +4 when it goes slack again. So passage planning is a little bit complicated because we've got the high tide times at Plymouth to take into account, which for Monday the 20th of July, these ones here, high at 0520 UT, low at 1127 UT, high again at 1737 UT. Dover is at around about 5.5 hours later, so let's have a see. July the 20th, okay, so yeah, the first high at 1039 UT, the second high at 2255 UT. So what I've done here to try and keep my sanity is prepare a little chart for myself of when the tide starts, when the tide is going to be flowing east or west, and what the strength of the tidal streams are. We're on springs on Monday, so the tidal streams are going to be at their strongest. So there we're looking at what's that, 1139. This is BST I've converted to here. No, sorry, 1239 BST. We're going to have 1.4 knots of adverse tide. So the passage is going to take us a little bit longer than if we had the tide against us. So I'm reckoning from the Mewstone, which is waypoint 7 here, to just off Salcombe entrance, waypoint 10. I think that's going to be around about 6 hours. It'll take an hour to get out from Mayflower Marina to the Mewstone, and then probably an hour from Salcombe entrance up to, we're going to head up to the bag and see if there's space on the visitors pontoon up there. So one of the things we need to look out for on the passage plan is what hazards we're likely to encounter. So here we've got inside Plymouth Sound, Colrag's Rule 9 is in force. So small vessels like ours have to give way to large vessels navigating in the narrow channels. On arrival at Salcombe, we've got the sandbar, which is very narrow. We're going to aim to cross that at no earlier than high water -2 hours. With the wind direction in northwest, the swell in to the east of Bolt Head, I'm hoping, would be very minimal. So hopefully we won't need to worry about that too much. There's possibility of some rough water between Bolt Tail and Bolt Head with the strong westerly setting tide on the spring ebb. The water may be churned up because of that, and then also we've got that strong current against the northwest winds, and there might be some wind over tide chop. But we'll stay probably aim to stay a couple of miles offshore and see if we can avoid the worst of that. Okay, so communications inside Plymouth Sound, we're going to be monitoring channel 14 for port control. Once we clear the breakwater, we'll keep a listening watch on channel 16, and then as we approach the entrance to Salcombe Harbour, we'll contact our master on channel 14 and ask for berthing advice. Tidal height calculations at Salcombe. Whenever I go anywhere where there's shallow water, I like to have an hour-by-hour table of what the tidal heights are going to be. I can use that plus the charted depths then and compare it with what's on the echo sounder to give me confidence that we're on the right track. There's a shallow sandbar at the entrance to Salcombe, so I want to make sure that we've really got our ducks in a row for what the tidal height is going to be there. So we're going to start off with the tidal heights at Plymouth on July the 20th. We're going to apply the secondary port differences for Salcombe, and then we're going to use the tidal curve for Plymouth, which is the standard port, to work out what the depths are going to be at various hours before high water Salcombe. Monday the 20th of July, low water Plymouth, 11:27 UT, height 1.2 metres. High tide 17:37 UT, height 5.3 metres. So differences at Salcombe. So if the high water is at 1800 UT, which it near enough is, we're going to add 10 minutes for the high water time. If the low water's at 1300, slightly off, we're going to add 0 minutes for the low water time. Okay, tidal heights differences. So at mean high water springs, and we're definitely on high water springs here, the differences to Salcombe are the heights at high water minus 0.2 metres and the heights at low water springs minus 0.1 metres. So at Salcombe, we reckon on Monday the 20th of July, the low water is going to be 11:27 UT, which is 12:27 BST, and the height will be 1.1 metres, so that's 1.2 plus the difference of minus 1.0 is 1.1. High water 17:37 UT plus 10 minutes gives 17:47 UT, which equals 18:47 BST, and the height is going to be 5.3 minus 1.2, 5.1 metres. Right, so our next move is to put these times onto the graph here. So we've got 18:47 for the high water, 17:47, 16:47, 15:47, 14:47, 13:47, 12:47, and the tidal heights. So high water 5.1 metres, low water 1.1 metres. So now we draw our line across there, and now we can start marking off. So at high water we've got 5.1, high water -1 here. We've got -4.9. High water -2. Make sure we get up to the springs curve there. I reckon that's 4.5 meters. High water -5. Okay, so that's our tidal heights at Salcombe. I'm going to add that to my passage plan. So we're reckoning on arriving at about 4:30, approximately 2 hours before high tide, so we should have 4.5 meters height of tide. Okay, over the bar here we've got charted depth of, looks like minimum 1.5, so we should have 6 meters of water or 4.5 meters under the keel. Roll on Monday, let's see how it works.